Remember back in 2016 when the Nintendo Switch was shown to the world and everyone's minds were blown? I mean, a console that was a home console and a handheld hybrid? That also had HD graphics? That was like breaking the physics of the universe! Okay, maybe an exaggeration.
It's a terrible joke.
And it was in that very reveal trailer that we got a glimpse of Mario's next big adventure. And it seemed to be going back to the roots of 3D Mario games, along the lines of Mario 64, the very game that set the standard for 3D platformers. You see, after Mario Sunshine, Mario games went into a more linear focused level design. As great as the Galaxy games were, they were lacking in the open-endedness of 64 and Sunshine. But that didn't matter because both games still rocked. But then you have 3D Land and 3D World. 3D Land was a great way of bringing 3D Mario games onto a handheld, and by combining elements of 2D and 3D Mario games. 3D World would then improve upon it by adding Peach and Toad as playable characters, 4-player co-op, new and returning power-ups, and you know, a HD coat of paint. But while these games were good, many just felt that they weren't the same as previous 3D Marios, and it didn't really help the Wii U get off the ground. But in 2017, this new Mario game that was teased in the Switch reveal trailer was then revealed to be titled Super Mario Odyssey, and was then released in October of that year, and became one of the highest selling games for the Switch, making 2017 a glorious comeback for Nintendo, and a win for hardcore Mario fans. So how does this game hold up 5 years after its release? I mean, of course it's gonna hold up, it's freaking Mario for crying out loud. But anyways, let's get into this. We start our adventure above the Mushroom Kingdom where Mario gets his ass beaten. I wonder what other game from 2017 this reminds me of. Anyways, Mario gets knocked away and Bowser escapes with Peach. So at its core it's your average Mario story. But this time there's a twist. Bowser's plan this time is to actually force Peach to marry him. What? Yeah, that's pretty fucked up even for Bowser. And he steals all sorts of stuff across the world for the wedding, and hires a new group of baddies known as the Brutals to slow Mario down. I suppose this was around the time that people were getting tired of the Koopalings appearing in every game. After landing in the Cap Kingdom, Mario meets his new ally for this game, Cappy, a white top hat who is capable of helping Mario possess other beings. It's officially called capturing, but yeah. This is probably the darkest mainline Mario game we've gotten so far. No wonder it was rated PEGI 7 instead of PEGI 3. Anyways, Mario and Cappy set off on a journey across the globe using a ship named the Odyssey. I see what you did there. And to put a stop to Bowser's sham wedding and rescue Peach and Tiara, Cappy's sister, who was also kidnapped by Bowser. So yeah, again, like most Mario games, the story is very simple and to the point. And while this game introduces a new bunch of characters to the Mario universe, it also brings back Pauline, who is being voiced by Kate Higgins, who did the voice for Tails from Sonic Colors up until Lost World. And she is now the mayor of New Donk City, and she has been appearing in more spin-offs since this game. So yeah, it was pretty great that they brought back an old character and fleshed her out. As for the rest of the voice cast, you've still got Samantha Kelly and Kenny James, who have been doing the voices of Peach and Bowser since Mario Galaxy. And of course, we've still got good old Charles Martinet voicing Mario. And as expected, he doesn't have too many lines in this game. But I always crack up whenever he says this at the beginning of the game.
Oh, come on.
That never gets old. And the rest of the voice cast do a good job. I mean, in the case of Mario, it's kinda hard to screw up the voice acting.
Mushroom Kingdom, here we come.
Most of the time anyways. But anyways, let's take a look at the gameplay. So as I mentioned before, this game reverts back to the open sandbox level design like Mario 64 and Sunshine. Your main objective is to run around and collect stuff. No ifs, ands, or buts. Instead of collecting power stars or shine sprites, you collect power moons, which are used to power up the Odyssey. Collect enough and you can travel straight to the next kingdom. Unlike previous 3D Mario games, you're free to stay in the level and collect as many power moons as you please, instead of going back to the hub world after collecting one. So this game plays a lot more like Banjo-Kazooie in the sense that you're free to find as many collectibles as you want, and you only exit the level when you're ready to exit the level. When you first arrive in a kingdom, you will usually be given 2 objectives, but you don't necessarily need to complete both. Just grab enough power moons and you can move straight on to the next kingdom. But even when I do grab enough, I often find myself still exploring the kingdom to find more. I don't know, the sense of freedom that this game offers just makes it more fun. My favorite kingdoms in this game are the Wooded Kingdom, the Lake Kingdom, New Donk City, Cascade Kingdom, and the Seaside Kingdom. I also love what they did with Bowser's Castle in this game, giving it more of a Japanese temple-like design. It's a good way of making it stand out from the other Bowser castles. In terms of the controls, this is probably hands down the best Mario has ever controlled in 3D. And this time, all of Mario's moves from the previous games are accounted for. Like in Sunshine he was missing the long jump, and in Galaxy he was missing the dive, but in this game, Mario has his complete moveset, along with a couple of new moves. You've got the triple jump, long jump, wall jump, dive, ground pound, and backflip. You can also roll in this game, and when you roll down hills you build up momentum. Taking notes from a certain rival, I see. The game also supports motion controls somewhat like Galaxy, and even with the motion controls, the Pro Controller still feels very natural to use for those who want to use it. I mean, for those actions that require you to use the motion controls, all you'll have to do at most is just give the controller a little shake. You can also throw Cappy and bounce off of him. And when you combine this with a long jump or a triple jump and then a dive, you can get some serious distance. And there's this part at the Lake Kingdom where you're meant to go through the caves, but if you know what you're doing, you can jump straight up on top of the wall and Cappy actually compliments you for it. This game really was designed with casual players and speedrunners in mind. But the main gimmick of this game is using Cappy to capture enemies. And this is not just for laughs, as you will need to utilize it to reach certain areas Mario can't reach on his own. For example, using a bullet bill to fly across a gap, using Goombas to stack on top of each other to reach higher areas or walk on ice, capturing poles? Okay. Manholes? Okay, really? Holy shit, T-Rex! The boss fights in this game are pretty good for the most part. The brutal fights are unsurprisingly easy, but their final boss where they're in a giant mech is a bit more challenging. Also, you get to fight against a giant dragon that doesn't even look like it belongs in a Mario game. Like seriously, it's so comical looking at a cartoon Bowser standing on top of a giant dragon that looks like it came out of, I don't know, Dark Souls or Skyrim. Do those games have dragons? The soundtrack for this game is really damn good. There are a lot of catchy tunes, which is to be expected from a Mario game. The song for Fossil Falls is freaking amazing. It gives you the sense of the great journey that you're about to embark on. Steam Gardens is very chill and enjoyable, and the rest of the songs are really good too. But the song that probably comes to most people's minds when they think of this game is Jump Up Superstar, sung by Pauline during the New Donk City Festival. And it is exploding with power. And it's such a perfect song that celebrates the return of a true 3D Mario and a new era for Nintendo.
It's time to jump up in the air.
Jump up, don't be scared.
Jump up and your kids will soar away. And if the dark cloud starts to swirl,
don't fear, don't shed a tear, cause I'll be your one-up girl.
So let's all jump up super high.
High up in the sky.
There's no power up like dancing.
You know that you're my superstar.
No one else can take me this far. I'm flipping the switch.
Get ready for this. Oh, let's do the Odyssey. Odyssey, yes, see.
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 Odyssey, yes, see. Odyssey, yes, see, Odyssey, Odyssey.
Yeah, maybe Retro and I should have recorded that together, instead of doing it individually. So, before we talk about post-story content, I think it's worth talking about the story's ending. Now, for those of you who may not have played this game may be wondering, Silver, this is a Mario game, what is there to talk about? Well, this game actually decides to spice up the ending this time around. So after Bowser gathers everything for the wedding, he escapes with Peach to have their ceremony on... I can't believe I just made a fucking illumination joke. And Cappy gives Mario a snazzy new wedding outfit. And the duo with the now fully moon-powered Odyssey head to the moon, the actual moon, to crash the sham wedding. And how come there are people attending this wedding? And mind you that Bowser stole all sorts of stuff from them, and took over New Donk City to advertise this wedding. I mean, imagine if you were the mayor of a city and then a monster suddenly showed up and took it over, and then put up posters to advertise his sham wedding. Would you want to attend that? Yeah, I didn't think so. So why did Pauline show up to Bowser's wedding, including the people he stole stuff from? Anyways, Bowser mocks Mario for his wedding suit not being as fancy as his, and the two duke it out once again, and as usual, Bowser is a loser. But then the moon caverns begin to collapse around them, and Mario escapes by possessing Bowser! Holy shit, you can briefly play as Bowser in this game! This is a great final level for this game. Throughout the entire game, you're able to capture and take control of Mario's most iconic enemies, and the last enemy you take control of before beating the story is his greatest enemy. And the final song sung by Kate Higgins is so powerful, just like Jump Up Superstar.
Kick off the wall and take the plunge, tripping through two dimensions. Up on the moon we'll twirl and swoon, just lead the way. I throw my hat in the ring, cause you're the one. A miracle in 3 dimensions. Follow the brick path straight to my heart, and we'll grab the flag together. The fireworks are gonna start. I hope that was a good take. Bye bye!
Once the tension is over, Cappy and Tiara celebrate their reunion, but before Mario and Peach can have a moment together, Bowser interrupts and desperately tries to win over Peach's affection. Mario then gets in on this, and with the two fighting over her, Peach rejects the both of them, and prepares to leave them stranded on the moon. Remember when the internet lost their shit over this ending? Like, this is a pretty bold ending for a Mario game. A series known for simple stories and happy endings. And we got to see a different side in Peach's character. This was definitely an interesting change from your typical Mario ending. As for post-story content, you'll still have plenty to do if you want to 100% this game. After beating Bowser, you get to go to the Mushroom Kingdom, and explore Princess Peach's castle just like in Mario 64. The Mushroom Kingdom level itself is really nice to explore, however I would have liked if they included the Toad Village from Mario Galaxy. I don't know, just to add a bit more life to the kingdom, and you know, continuity's sake. After the main story is beaten, Peach and Tiara decide to travel across the world to visit the places they've been, but at their own free will. And by talking to them, they will give you a Power Moon, and eventually you'll meet them back at the Mushroom Kingdom. There will also be more Power Moons available for you to collect, which you will need to gather in order to reach the dark side of the moon. Ooh, sounds scary. Oh, it's just boss refights. But, if you collect 500 moons, you can travel to the darker side of the moon, which is home to one of the most challenging levels in Mario history. There are no checkpoints, and you have to beat this in one go. So, good luck! There are also alternate costumes you can unlock, and the fan service for them is just through the roof. You got the classic Mario suit, the Mario Maker suit, the golf suit, a Luigi suit, a Wario and Waluigi suit, the Sunshine suit, the Brutals costumes, okay, and the freaking Mario 64 suit in all of its blocky glory. All that's missing honestly are the Mario 64 voice clips, but other than that, this skin is such a lot of fun to use. And you will need to use these costumes to go through certain areas that you can't with other costumes. And these alternate costumes also interact with the cutscenes, which is always such a nice touch that shows that the developers put a bit of extra thought into the cutscenes. To unlock these alternate costumes, you will need to collect purple coins. These are scattered all across the kingdoms, and my only gripe with them is that there's no way to actually tell which ones you've collected. It would have been nice if you collected purple coins, they'd be marked on the map so you wouldn't have to backtrack just to see if you've collected them or not. You can also use them to buy souvenirs to decorate the Odyssey. They're pretty cool, I guess. Also, after beating the main game, you can talk to Luigi and play Balloon World. Basically how it works is that you can either hide a balloon, or try to find other players' balloons. This is a very nice distraction from the main game, especially if you're stuck for coins for new costumes. And the last thing to mention before closing off this review are the graphics. For a Mario game, they're really well done, showing that even though the Switch is less powerful than a PS4 and Xbox One, and PS5 and Series X for that matter, it's still capable of running big open world games with appealing visuals. Like when Mario rolls around in sand or snow, he gets covered in it. And the detail put into his hair and mustache is really impressive. Again, it shows that the developers put extra thought and care into this game. And of course, these graphics still hold up after 5 years. And that was Super Mario Odyssey, and 5 years later? Man, this game is still so damn good. It's so much fun to just run around and collect the power moons, and Mario's super diverse moveset makes traversing across the kingdom so much fun. From a technical standpoint, I would say that this is hands down the best Mario game ever made. It does so much right, from the graphics, the music, the locations you travel to, and the amount of crazy moves you can pull off if you're good at the game. However, I wouldn't say that this is my favorite Mario game, but it is still very damn close to being my favorite. It's definitely in my top 3 for sure. And that was my Super Mario Odyssey 5-year anniversary review. Man, it's so hard to believe that it's already been that long. Anyways, thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see y'all later.
Woohoo!